I don't mind fishing in this stuff if it's going to turn them on. Look how fat he is.
Oh, this is what fishermen see before they die.
I don't even know if he knows he's hooked.
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Yamaha, conquer outdoors. Defend Products, eco-friendly protection from biting insects. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922.
I'm here with my good friend James. Do you have a fish on too?
He bit and he buried me.
You sure it's not a big one?
No, he came off.
Hope you didn't lose that crankbait.
Actually, I did. It's okay, I got more.
Actually, I'm fishing with James, and the last time we were out together, well, we were actually bass fishing, but the last time we shot a show was ice fishing on Lake Simcoe. And this is kind of a treat because we're on Lake Simcoe, and it's fall, it's almost November, and we're trolling for smallmouth. Now this is the first. I've done lots of smallmouth fishing, but I've never really targeted them trolling, and we're trolling in like 30 to 40 feet of water. So James, when did you start getting on fish like this late in the fall and fishing this deep and trolling?
You know, I started 5 years ago. We figured this pattern out, and some of my good friends knew about it, and we've been doing a lot of tournaments out here. Oh, it jumped. And we've had some really huge bags of fish, so I've caught two bags for 5 fish over 30 pounds out here.
Wow.
And lots of 7s, and you do hook into the odd 8-pounder.
That's crazy. Now, have you tried other techniques like drifting with, tubes and stuff for them?
It's really slow, the tube bite out here.
That's funny that they hit a crankbait.
Catch a lot of crankbaits, and then we drag swim baits. We do a lot better on swim baits than we do on tube jigs.
You know what, let's walk to the front, because
Okay.
I think what'll happen, the fish is actually pulling the front of the boat, believe it or not. He's not a monster. I mean, he's a decent sized smallmouth. But it amazes me because the water's cold. The water's in the 50s, yet they're still smacking these crankbaits. And that guy's got both hooks in his mouth. I'm just gonna take my gloves off. You can notice that it's a little bit cool out. We've had some cold temperatures. Now this isn't a monster, but it's a start, right? You said most of the fish here are larger?
All larger.
Over 4 pounds, or even bigger than that? Well, he wanted that bait. Nice smallmouth, end of October. And the funny thing is, really here, really isn't any structure. I noticed on the sonar that it's just flat. There is structure when you get closer to shore, but we're in like 30, 40 feet of water. So I'll get that guy back in the water, and I'm gonna drop him in gently, and there he goes. Now, because we're long lining, James has a very specific setup he likes to use. You don't go either mono or braid. You do a combination, right?
Combination. I feel that way it gets the line out there, gets it down a little deeper quicker, and I think it has a better vibration.
What pound test you normally run?
10 pound.
10 pounds. So you're running half braid?
Half braid, half
fluoro.
Fluoro.
That's funny, because I go mostly braid. I've got a fluorocarbon leader, but it's only about maybe 8 or 9 feet long. We'll see what happens, because this is a good test. All right, James.
Finally. Well, the seas got angry and the fish turned on.
Now, my line isn't over yours, is it?
No.
Now, what do you think that haze is in the sky? Does that look like rain to you? I can't.
This is what fishermen see before they die.
Are you okay, James?
Yeah, this is one of the Simcoe's biggest ones. I catch a lot here that go over 7.
You think it might be that big?
Oh yeah.
Man, what a time for it to rain. What's going on, James?
Yeah, tell me about it.
You know, we're dedicated anglers, and I'm glad I wore my full body suit, but this is crazy. That wind picked up out of nowhere. Now we've got rain. Okay.
Oh.
He's not like a 8 or 9 pounder, but you know what? That's a respectable smallmouth. Yeah, grab him out. Oh. Let me just get that one hook out of the net. Chaos or what with the, there we go.
There we go.
Nice fish. Now, I don't mind fishing in this stuff if it's going to turn them on. Look how fat he is.
Yeah, they put the feed sack on him.
And you said you've been getting him up to 8 pounds?
8
doing
pounds.
this?
Yeah, he's about a 4.
Yeah, he's over 4.
Over 4.
Now this is amazing. We're trolling in 40 feet of water without any additional weight, just bouncing those crankbaits along the bottom, hunting for these guys and even bigger guys. Well done, especially in these conditions. Okay, let's get him in the net. We're going to revive him. Okay, we're just going to get him back in the water. Wow! This is like gale storm wind here.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, hold on to that life preserver. Come on. Now he's wrapped up in the net. He's such a big fish. Make sure that he's okay. Oh yeah, he wants to go. There he goes. Wow. Talk about crazy weather. Okay, what are we gonna do?
Let's go back up.
You know what? Let's go right back at the end of the bay and maybe just wait a little bit.
Okay.
Not too long.
All right.
But this is pouring pretty good. Okay, if you get the electric, sometimes you gotta know when to head for cover. This lure is called a Risto Wrap, and it's actually made by Risto Rapala. He's the gentleman that designed it in Finland. Now you can see that this one's got a very chrome finish, very flashy. It has a blue back and it has a little bit of orange along the belly. What I like about it is it's the right size, again, imitating about a 3-inch bait fish. But if you look at the lip, it has a long lip, but it doesn't have that wide shovel scoop at the front. It's quite narrow. So that tells me that it's going to have a pretty tight action when it's swimming. So the Risto Wrap, whether it's this size or the larger one, is ideal when those fall smallmouth are stacked up in schools on structure 20 to 40 feet down, and they're feeding. They're actively feeding. These Risto Wraps are ideal to use. Early and late in the day, when the sun isn't shining like it is now, or if it's overcast, this chartreuse one that has the blue back works great. But in the middle of the day, if you've got those bright sunny conditions, this natural colored one that has that nice flash to it will work really well. So both of these are ideal to use if you're casting, especially in shallower structure, or trolling over deeper structure. Both of them are made out of balsa wood. They don't have any rattles inside, so they're ideal to make a natural presentation.
There we go.
Good hook set. Okay, let me get the net. I'm going to put my rod down.
You know, I got him in 31 feet of water, Italo.
Wow. You know, we've had this wind come up. It got real stormy. It rained for a while. And the fish, for some reason, just were not active. So we've had to really slow down the presentation.
Really slow it down.
Nice smallmouth. You know what? He wanted that minnow. It's gone. Okay, let me get him in here. Way to go. Oh, you know what? I thought he swallowed it really deep. He didn't. He soaked just on the edge of the mouth. Now, this is a classic drop shot rig. What's that called? Is there a name for that actual weight that just clamps onto your line?
There
that
is.
pinches on? What's the name of it?
I gotta look it up.
No, don't worry about it. But anyway, we're using these special weights that actually clamp onto your line. And if you do get stuck on bottom, the weight actually slides off. Up above that, we've got a number 4 Gamogatsu hook. So you can see that all James has done is actually put it on the line, and then of course below that is the weight. That's why it's called the drop shot. And we're using live minnows because the fish have slowed down. Look at how chunky that smallmouth is. Beautiful color, way to go. There you go, first fish on a drop shot. I'm gonna get him in the net and just hold him over the side. Man, this fall fishing is fun, but you know what? It can get challenging. When the weather really turns and you get those cold fronts come in, it can make for very challenging fishing, especially when the fish are inactive. Yeah, nice smallmouth, come on, any second now. Beautiful.
Here we go.
Now, James, are we glutton for punishment?
I tell you.
I mean, the last few times we fished together, the weather's been very challenging. And now we're talking about almost November. Actually, it's going to be November Saturday, and you're in a tournament, right? You going to wear your snowsuit?
Actually, yeah, last time we were fishing, boy, it was challenging.
You were cold and you were wet, like a duck. I remember that. But you got some nice bass, though. You always seem to manage to get fish. Now, I like your technique, nice and easy. So you're not telling the viewers, you should be telling them, never let the line go slack, always keep nice steady pressure, right? Nice fish, just very gently guide him in. He's just got that back hook in his mouth. Good job. Look at this. You the man. I don't want him to shake. Look at you. You had him by one hook. I don't know if the viewers can see that right there. So see if that'll come out. And then we'll get the crankbait out. Nice smallmouth. Isn't that a gorgeous fish? You know, this time of the year, these fish tend to really school up. Look at how fat they are. So, you know, they say that they're putting on the feed bag. That means that they're really feeding heavily before the lakes start ice over. And Lake Simcoe is legendary for producing big smallmouth, up to 8 pounds, believe it or not. That fish will probably go just under 4 pounds. It's a gorgeous fish. It just amazes me that in these cold conditions that they'll still hit crankbaits. And James was trolling at about 1.8 to 2.4 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. That's a gorgeous smallmouth. I'm just going to get him back in the water. And nice and easy. Ooh, that water's cold, let me tell you. He wants to go. And look at this. One more look. Good size smallmouth. And watch him go right to the bottom. Beautiful.
Oh, that Italo one just bit.
What's the, oh, hold on a sec. Okay. What's the O about?
Oh.
Look at you. Now, you know what? I'm surprised that you use such a soft rod for trolling crankbaits in 40 feet of water.
You know what? It's my magic stick. I've tried other tougher rods, but I seem to get a better bite on this one.
You know what I think it is in the fall? When sometimes the bass don't grab it that well, having a softer rod actually helps because you don't pull the hook out, you know? Because I lost the one fish earlier. You know, this is very interesting. We don't have a very nice day. So most people wouldn't come out with this weather. We've had strong winds. At least the winds are dying down a little bit. But if you look at the cloud formation, it's rowdy stuff. You can actually see blue skies there, and then it's black over here. So you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, as soon as you get it up, I'm going to try netting it. I don't know if you can get it back here near the motor. It's another nice smallmouth.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? These are nice fish. They're not monsters. Now, you were teasing me about getting fish over 7 pounds.
Well, the day's not over.
Okay, here. You better, you actually hit it pretty good. You know what I think it is, too? You know, we've been fishing most of the day. We started out this morning at about 9 o'clock. Yeah, just, he wasn't going to get off. Oh, no. Careful. Yep. The other one is just in my finger here. Here, actually, this is a good thing for viewers not to do. So if you do get a hook and pass the barb, you have to pull it straight back out, right?
Sorry.
No pain, no gain. You know how many times I've been hooked? It shouldn't even bleed. Can you believe that? You know what, when you get a fish on, you don't feel the pain. I'm amazed at how thick they are. So you're telling me you get fish over 6 pounds here?
Over 6. My partner pre-fished for last week and he caught one over 8.
Wow, that's amazing. Well done. You know what, I was going to put it in the net, but because the lure's in the net, I'm just going to drop it over the side of the boat. How's that? Maybe right here near the motor. The nice thing about this G3 is it's got a nice well, so I can actually put the fish in without getting hurt. And I'm going to release it in just a moment, and it should swim right down. Come on, come on. There it goes. Good.
Closed captioning by Petra-Pod, the only trailer that flips into a boat in less than a minute.
Boy, we've got some interesting conditions. You know, even with the overcast skies, both Dave and I are wearing glasses because it's helping us to see where the weed edges are. And a lot of people don't think that you need them when it's overcast, but if you have dark lenses, amber, it can really help. I'm just going to put this electric on spot lock. This is amazing weather, eh? When was the last time you fished in such wind?
It makes it a little tough, but that's a nice fish you got there.
Yeah, it's a good sized bass. First quality one. You can see all the weeds that are on it because it went down. I've got to be careful here because I can see the crankbait is on the outside of the fish. So you got to be very careful, especially if you're using a crankbait with a couple of trebles. So, you know, we're talking earlier about fishing the weed edges. This is the kind of weed, milfoil and coontail, that's growing. And here, when you get into the Trent Severn waterway, the water's pretty clear. So the fish are going to be attracted to any of the heavier weeds. So this crankbait that I'm using is probably one of my most famous for fishing walleye, but it actually works good for bass too. This is part of the Dives 2 series, and it's the number 7 flat. You can see how narrow it is. That's getting a little bit better. I'm just amazed that the smaller fish are active.
They're
and those
very
bigger
active.
ones that we're looking for aren't that active. But that's a chunky. I'm guessing it's about 3 pounds.
Yeah,
it's
it's
probably
good
about
fish.
17 inches. You know what? I'm going to check it. Okay, let's just see out of curiosity how big this fish is. You know what? He's 16 and a half. I'm guessing that fish is about 3.5 pounds. You know, one time I fished the Bassmaster tournament on West Point Lake, LaGrange, Georgia, and the minimum length was 16 inches. And I remember distinctly that tournament because Roland Martin pre-fished 3 days and fished 3 days in the Invitational, didn't get one 16-incher. So sometimes, you know, to get a fish that size is tough when you're tournament fishing.
You can't complain. It's a nice fish.
No, I'm going to put it back in. They're nice and chunky. That's what I like about it.
Well fed.
I'm going to get him back in. Look at that. Nice green bass. Sometimes they call them black bass. I think they're more green than black. Probably because of the really light conditions. Wow, it's getting rough. Just had a nice hit. This can't be a, oh, it's a nice northern. Boy, he's got that crankbait sideways in his mouth. And I don't think he's done fighting. Can you see that Rapala Dives 2.7 just sticking out there? What a pretty sight. I just want this guy to be fought out before I try handling him. I don't even know if he knows he's hooked because he hit right at the boat. Come on, I'm trying to get him to do something just to use up some energy. What? Come on. Because if I try to grab him, I know what's going to happen. He's going to take off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, sometimes they play a sleeper, so you got to be very careful. Now, I'm glad that he didn't swallow that crankbait because we're not using wire leaders. Now he's down in the weeds. Trying to get him up. Come on. We just have that fluorocarbon leader. It's strong, but if a pike or a muskie inhales it, 20-pound test fluoro is not really a pike or muskie leader. Come on. Here he is there. You can see he's got a mouthful of weeds. Whenever you're fishing some of this deeper water and cranking like this, you can hook pike. I haven't in this area before, but oh, look at that crankbait is almost out. Okay, this is interesting. I guess he did that on the run. Okay, you know what? He's nice and long. I got to measure him. I think he's going to be about 30 inches. You can see that crankbait just on the edge of the mouth. What was interesting was it was right in there earlier. I'm just going to take a quick measurement. And yeah, he's 32 inches. So that's a good sized pike. So I'm just going to get that hook out and we're going to be releasing it. Yeah, I'm lucky that he didn't just eat that crankbait, which will often happen when you're bass fishing, because I would have lost it. And you know what? This particular Dives 2.7 flat has a sure set hook. That's that one hook that's a little bit longer, and that's the one that actually had him. So I'm just going to put the hook in the water, and I'm going to extend this guy out, and I'm going to try not to fall in because we've got a little bit of wave action. This is a long, lean fish. You can see he's just starting to get his color back. I'm going to try to hold him by the tail, and right there, and just let him revive a little bit. You know, when you fight a fish like this northern, a lot of times we call it stress marks. You can see the marks on his back. When they exert a lot of pressure, they kind of turn pale, kind of like us getting scared. But he's starting already to get the color back. See how the modeling that was on his back is starting to disappear? That's telling me that he's getting a little bit more comfortable and he's getting his energy back. So I'm just going to suspend him a little bit. Very healthy looking fish. Look at, just beautiful. So in 1 second here, he's probably, oh, there he goes.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Suffix. Always use the best line. Yamaha. Conquer outdoors. Defend Products. Eco-friendly protection from biting insects. Dickies. Quality workwear since 1922.
You know, I'm here with Dave Neill, and we're fishing the Trent Severn Waterway. We don't have ideal conditions for bass fishing. We've got a wind coming from the southeast, but what we're doing is we're cranking open water weeds. That's a good start.
Not
nice
bad.
Chunky fish. That's a largemouth. I'm guessing he's about 1.5 pounds. Do you need the pliers, or can that just pop out?
I think we're okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Now that's kind of a special, I'm just going to hold him up to the camera. Look at nice, for being a small fish, you know, look how thick he is. You can actually get some really nice fillets out of there. I'm going to let you give you the honors to release it.
Thank you.
Don't fall in.
Try not
First
to.
step is really wet. Good job.